When we have a day as significant as September 15th in Major League Baseball, how in the world does Topps release 4 Project 70 cards and not have one of them be Roberto? This is a no-hat card for the collection. I'm going to be buying a copy anyway, but I'm really wondering, do I play the number game on this card? And no, I'm not going to be buying 30 Blue the Great Doc Ellis's. In last night's video, I gave my answer about that card. I said, who really wants 30 base cards of that card? I certainly don't, and I don't want to have to move 30 base cards of that card. So that experiment, of course, is put to bed, but I'll give you my final thoughts here in a few minutes on the reason why I put out those foil odds for the print run cards. But welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris, otherwise on Twitter and Instagram is at CRT_sportscards, and the website that you want to go to for everything related to Project 70, and you can also pre-order every single card that gets released. It's my website, CRTsportscards.com. Now I guess if everyone or 30 of you buy that Doc Ellis for me on the website, I'll pick up 30 and then we'll figure out how the odds fall that way. But personally speaking, I will not be buying 30 of those cards. Now, one of the real joys of my channel overall as a content producer is the fact that, look, nobody pays me any money to talk about any certain product or any certain card. I've never had a sponsor. No one said, hey, we'd like to pay you 20, 30 bucks to talk about our brand. I've always had that freedom to speak about what I want to and not have to worry about, did I make someone upset? Yes, typically I do try to keep this very positive to Project 70. I think my biggest sort of win when it comes to channel is some of the relationships that I've built with some of the artists around Project 70 and also Project 2020 are second to none, and I'm very thankful for those. And when I see cards like this get released and then the artist says it was for me for the no hat collection, I think it's fantastic. Here is the David Wright New York Nico, and I did pick up the artist proof. This is number 45 of 51. And I say that because I don't know how on September 15th, which is Roberto Clemente Day in Major League Baseball, and by the way, this is not a new holiday. It's been around for 6 or 7 years now, so this shouldn't have caught anyone by surprise. Heck, we had a Lou Gehrig card on the very first Lou Gehrig Day in Major League Baseball this year. I didn't expect to wake up this morning and see 4 Roberto Clementes like we saw with Jackie Robinson on Jackie Robinson Day, where there were 4 Jackies. But to see a card last week get released for Derek Jeter's Hall of Fame celebration and everything else that's happened this year, how in the world do we let that happen in Project 70? To me, it's just another example of just a missed opportunity to really celebrate a player and a legacy here, because this is what this set's about. It's about celebrating the history of Topps, the history of baseball, and the players. And how can the team behind Project 70 not talk to the artists and go, does anyone out there, look, there's 51 of you, does anyone have Roberto coming up here soon? Can you work with this? I mean, look, Miguel Cabrera hit 500 home runs, and it took Blake Jameson 2 weeks to listen to the fans to get a card out. Thankfully, Blake got that card out, but I don't know how there wasn't a Miguel Cabrera card ready Monday or maybe even Tuesday, because we all knew he was going to hit 500 home runs here in the next couple of days. Just the planning seems so off. But now we'll see if their planning improves over the next couple of weeks, maybe next couple of months. I think the biggest concern right now is this set is going to run through February, which means after November, really the dead time of the year, December, January, and into February, there's really going to be nothing about baseball going on. And when we have something as cookie cutter as Roberto Clemente Day and we don't have a Clemente come out, how are they ever going to navigate through the dead period of baseball? But now, before I talk about the 4 cards that released today in the set, I do want to have some final parting thoughts around the foil chart I released on the website and I talked about on the last couple of episodes. I, number one, by no means am advocating anyone should go out there and foil hunt in this set. What I was trying to show you is that the foil odds, yes, as a grouping, as an entire set, they are right now 1 in 35.7. So let's just use 1 in 36 here to make it easy. But the story is a lot bigger than that, because you just can't go out there and buy 40 random cards from different artists and different players and then get mad when you don't hit a foil. Very few of us in the set, unless you're a pre-seller doing big quantities, are ever going to buy enough cards to basically guarantee a foil. A lot of us are buying cards that we're never ever going to hit a foil. So I want to switch the conversation from being mad about not hitting a foil to being positive, because when I saw the comments on those videos, people talking about, you know what, I'm crushing the odds on my foils because these are the cards I hit. of the print run, or this is the print run of the card, there are so many wins out there. So whether you get one foil this year, or 10, or 1, or 2, or 10, whatever that number is, you want to think of it in the positive, because for a lot of us, we should never get a foil because none of us ever really buy the quantities to hit a foil. But now as we shift our focus to the cards that released today on Wednesday in Project 70, and also do not forget, tonight or tomorrow morning is the last time you can buy the Monday cards. So do not forget to go purchase those Monday releases in this set. But first up, we had Shohei Ohtani by the Sioux Surgeon. Second up was Babe Ruth by Michael B. Third was Bo Jackson by Risk. And then fourth here, ending day for us, it is going to be Matt Taylor with his Ronald Acuna Jr. And now I'm basically kind of eating my own words in the same video, but when you take a look at that Risk Bo Jackson, this is now, of course, the second day in a row of a Bo Jackson card and the third Bo Jackson of the past 4 release days in Project 70. So just when I said we had kind of forgotten that Bo Jackson was in the set, there's been a ton of Bo's, so I think I jinxed all of us, so I do apologize about that. But Risk, what has Risk done the entire year? He's taken the actual card year of the player and he's just put a skin on it. But on this Bo Jackson, that Photoshop around the head, it's rough. And so I don't know how well this card's going to sell. It is from 87 Topps. I love the wood background or the wood grain of the card, but that head, I can't get past the head on that Bo Jackson. And so while Risk has kept his set pretty static throughout the year, this artist has also kept their set with the same color scheme throughout all now 12 cards. And he told us at the very beginning, this is the scheme he's using for the entire set of his in Project 70. But we have Matt Taylor with Ronald Acuna Jr. And this card is from 1964 Topps. If you look at the back of the card, it shows 64. Topps on the website has it as 62. That is incorrect. This is, of course, from 64. But this card, when you look at this card versus the last card, you have Tatis and you have Acuna here. You have two players, sunshades in the middle, and the player with an emotion or a movement in there. So these cards kind of go well together. But overall, Matt Taylor has released one of the most common players that's out there. So over the next 8 cards, are we going to see him release more common players that a lot of us have seen, or are we going to see him really niche down and get to maybe another Canseco or another player or two out there that has a lower player count in the set? And now I bring that up for one reason. We are about to talk about the 21st Shohei Ohtani in the set, and tomorrow Lauren Taylor releases her Fernando Tatis Jr. Those two players right now are some of the most widely released in the set, but you know what? They only make up about 6 to 7% of the entire set. So again here, focus on the positive. There are 92 to 93% of the set you can look at, and it's not named Ohtani or Tatis. So let's talk about that Ohtani today. This is now, of course, the 21st Ohtani, this time by the Sioux Surgeon. You have 2021 Topps. It's kind of fitting that the 21st Ohtani is from 21 Topps, but the background is from the Matrix. The question on this card, and by the way, I'm going to cut in here and say, if I don't mention this, I'm going to get crushed again in the comments. Yes, there was an autograph available for this card, but the reason why I don't talk about the autographs on the show is because you can't buy them. So I don't find any value in talking about something that you can't purchase, and they're going to be not released for maybe 4 to 6 months down the road. So maybe in 2022, I'll talk about these autographs when they're live. But in the meantime, this card, I'm really wondering, will this end up being the #1 printed card in the set? Could this card print near 30,000 copies? It is Ohtani. It is the Matrix. This card could be the perfect formula for a just massive print run here by the Sioux Surgeon. But now, of all the cards that released today, there is no card that made me feel a certain way than this Babe Ruth by Michael B. And it made me feel like I'm completely underdressed for the occasion. Yes, this is a no hat card. This is fantastic that Michael B now has a card in my no hat collection. But here again, Michael B absolutely crushes a portrait in this set. Yes, there is more of Babe Ruth. That suit is more present than we've seen other portraits of his when it comes like the Ken Griffey or the Derek Jeter. But when I took a look at this card, it really took me to a place. It took me to the 50s. It's like he and I just sat down at the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas, Everything about this card screams like Dapper Don, the Mafia, and yes, Babe Ruth is not John Gotti. I'm not trying to compare the two individuals. Those are very, very different people at the end of the day, but it really feels like I'm looking at a mob boss, and I do not want to disappoint him. And so the reason why this is my card of the day, it's because my mind went in 14 different directions when I saw this card, and that emotion is why I like this card so much today. This will now conclude your Wednesday night daily download in Topps Project 70. Also, do not forget, go back to my Monday night video. If you've not guessed that print run for that Deion Sanders by Ron English, you have until 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to get that print run guess in. The person nearest print run without going over will win that card free from me. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you are notified every single night that my videos are up and can be viewed.